Welcome back, everyone. Hi, Jonathan.
Good afternoon.
Just want to click share screen at the bottom and then your presentation up. That would be great.
Brilliant. Hopefully everyone can see that.
Not yet. You just go back to the Remo screen and then just double check that you just click share and then select entire screen.
Yes,
and then click on the presentation.
Technical issues.
What have you had, Jonathan?
The share box is not. You can't press it. It's just grey.
Oh, so if you just make sure that you've selected the screen, so you just need to click on the actual screen within the window, and then that should make it blue. There we go. Perfect.
Brilliant. Can you see that now?
We can see that perfectly. Okay, great. Over to Jonathan.
Thank you. Well, welcome everybody. Today I'm going to give an overview of the SDF project and where we're at in terms of the immersive classrooms that we're rolling out across Kent. You've already heard from Wayne and Nathan this morning about the NHS side and what they're doing with regards to immersive environments. And today I'm going to show you where we're at with our immersive classrooms and VR sets across 13 campuses that we have. So the project for SDF is around making sure that we are transitioning to a more data-driven, automated and digital economy. And looking at the skills gaps, feedback from the SDF1, a lot of employers and feedback was coming back that digital skills, digital literacy were quite key areas that employers wanted to us to support on. So we have developed a number of programs, things like Power BI, cybersecurity, app building, marketing, everything linked to digital skills, which are now rolling out in March as well. But also the fundamentals around digital virtual reality and actually how do we bring things like 3D assets into learning and how do we add value to all of our curriculum. So we are creating a network of 13 immersive labs across Kent and Medway. These will provide collaborative delivery. So if you've got engineering in Ashford, we could have a tutor delivering from Ashford to Canterbury, but also up to Dartford as well. So there's a whole range of applications that we can use the classrooms for. We can also share experiences, so we can link into networks of classrooms across the rest of the UK. There's a number of other colleges with immersive classrooms and also universities as well. So someone like Christchurch University has an immersive classroom. We could have guest speakers from the university talking to some of our students as well. So there's a whole application that we're starting to explore through these classrooms. And also there's a lot around CPD as well, so development of our workforce and how do we use this technology to make sure we're moving forward. So we are partnering with Immersive, who are delivering these classrooms for us. So if anyone's worked with USP College in Essex before, you will have seen their immersive classrooms. So Immersive are supporting the fit out and the kit for these classrooms. I'm now going to start showing you some pictures of what they look like. So this is a standard format of the front view of a classroom. As you can see, you have the tutor at the front with two high-vis, ultra HD displays. To the left and to the right, you have interactive whiteboards that the lecturer can pull up. Also, if the lecturer writes on these boards or students, it also writes on the connected classroom boards as well. So some really interesting applications to add value to the curriculum. And from the back view, we have an infinity wall. So this would be the other classroom connected in, and they will actually get to see everything that's happening in the lessons. And generally the model is that you'd have a lecturer in one room, and then you'd have a tech support in the second collaborative workspace. And so we can share resources across multiple campuses. Here are some pictures of them actually in use. So this is the actual Extend Digital Campus in Essex, where this is, you can see in the background, the classroom is connected. This isn't like Teams meetings. We've had demos of classes actually happening. The sound is brilliant, that there's no lag. So the technology is really cutting edge, and you actually feel like the two rooms are one. This is Newham College's room, and as you can see in the previous slide, all the windows are blocked out. So that was a true immersive environment. But Newham have obviously used their classroom to not only be immersive, but to use as other lessons as well, say for English or for maths. So they've got roller blinds on the windows from that. But you can see the rooms look high tech and cutting edge. And this is just another view from there. These are one of the infinity walls that all of the classrooms will be fitted out with. You can split the screens up into multiple pixels like we're seeing now, or you can have it as one whole screen. So if you're in a VR environment and you start to pull up a 3D asset, then the whole screen can show a motor vehicle battery as it's being pulled apart, or a heart, as you've just seen demonstrated the NHS one as well. So it really does add value to the curriculum on that side. And then again, there's just the infinity wall. So to add even more excitement to what's already coming to these immersive classrooms, we are also creating VR consumption rooms. So these are immersive classrooms that have VR capabilities in them as well. So we are looking to have 4 across Kent. This is what the rooms look like, slightly different to the immersive classroom, where that has the same capabilities. At the back, you see the whole affinity wall. So as the person's in the centre there with the VR headset, you're actually seeing what they're seeing. And I think that's some of the challenges we have with VR at the moment, that when people are in virtual reality, people who haven't got the headsets on can't actually see what's happening. So we've got a whole display of what that person's seeing. To the right-hand side, you can see the docking stations and charging points for all of the virtual reality headsets on the right-hand side. And then from the back of the room as well, we have the connected classroom. Again, they will get to see all of this as well. Now, these rooms are multi-adaptable. So we have fold-away tables that will move to the side. So we have a large area for people to move around in VR, but also the room can then go back to an immersive classroom. And here are some pictures of West Sussex College, where they've got their VR area at one end, and then they've got this kind of step up approach. So again, these learning environments are really quite exciting for young people to be involved in and get to experience. And then you can see again on the right hand side the whole docking stations of the VR headsets and what these rooms could look like. This room is totally immersive. It doesn't have any roller blinds. All the windows are blocked out, and as the classrooms are brought online through March and onwards, you will have a mixture of classrooms that are either fully immersive or they've got roller blinds for windows as well. And this is just a short video of just seeing what the Affinity Wall could look like. If you go onto YouTube and put in USP Extend Campus, you can see a lot of the stuff and curriculum that they've developed on this as well, and also the teaching pedagogy as well, and how that's done. So it's just a 360 round view of what this classroom will look like. So we've got the tech. We've created these really cool immersive environments that we're going to excite young people and employers and wider stakeholders to come and have a look at and engage in. But actually, how do we have a menu of VR applications and also 3D assets that tutors and lecturers can pull down and add value to their curriculum, whether that's motor vehicle, cooking, services. We've got this opportunity now to create some really exciting 3D assets that we can pull in and start to really add value to curriculum. So we are creating our own VR campus. This will be online from April. So when you put your headset on, you will be loaded into a Kent VR campus. We are working with Active Dynamic, who are building this for us, and it really is a learning environment where students can go in and build avatars of themselves and actually start to learn in this kind of virtual place. So it is desktop application, so you can access it from outside the classroom, you can access it through a tablet, for example. Actually, we want to be really fully immersed with the VR. So actually the VR application through the headset is a much better experience for the user. So some of the core platform features that are being developed, and we are building this with curriculum and tutors that will be using this, so we're getting feedback. But essentially, it's designed to add value to teaching already. It will be managed at campus level. We will have Quest 2 educational headsets, and we'll also be developing 3D high quality assets, which I'm going to show you a bit later on in the presentation. So this is just some of the environments for a young person when they're in the headset. We've got haptic gloves and body suits coming as well, so young people get sense and touch of when they're in there, but this will be how they would load up one of their lessons. Class environment, so each college group will create their own environment for young people to go to. Custom avatars, quite a modern space as well. And then also for the tutors and lecturers, it's about giving them the opportunity to add value through things like whiteboards, interactive 3D assets, and a really nice working environment for them. So I've touched on these. The interactive whiteboards, students can write on, the tutors can write on, a 3D launcher. So if you've got a car battery, you want to start to explore how electric vehicle works. We can't afford to be buying electric vehicles, and there's obviously issues around stripping them down as well. So actually, we can show motor vehicle students how an electric car works by pulling it apart and then going into the battery. And then we've got presenter screens as well, so you can share your desktop and your images and videos as well from this. A lot of work's gone into creating avatars, so young people can really put a representation of themselves. And from a tutor's point of view as well, it's around being able to manage these environments. So you can mute learners, you can give reward points, and you can actually remove attendees as well. So the tutor and lecturer will have full control of the room. And then from the student's point of view, and I've just touched on that, there's your avatar, you can raise hands, there's emoji feedback as well, so that can be just directly to the tutor that nobody else can see. So if they're unsure about a question, they can give an emoji, or they can put it to the class as well. So it's really customized for, and very intuitive as well for young people to access. It's the same as they use their phones and their tablets. This is just some about the training. So there will be a training package rollout for both the immersive classrooms and the VR campus from April onwards. At the March the 10th KFE Skills show, we will be launching some of the demos and the curriculum as well for people to start to have a look at and have a play with ahead of the next academic year. And then this is really where the power comes in. And what you saw earlier on from Wayne and Nathan with regard to the NHS is about the assets and actually how do we enhance lessons with VR. So we want to start to bring in custom environments and 3D assets. So we will have simple assets, enhanced assets, and then dynamic assets. So your simple assets are just fast loading, just general principles about actually having that up on the screen and showing what that is. A young person may not know what an atom looks like, so it's just one of those assets you can pull up. We then move into more enhanced assets where it looks a lot like the real thing, and actually you can start to label parts of each of these, and we are creating a number of these 3D assets, not just within our own college group, but within the consortium across, Kent and Essex and Medway. We've got a whole library of assets that are being developed for each curriculum area. And then finally, the dynamic assets. So this is really where you can start to pull things apart and actually have a look at how things work in the real world. Virtual world, sorry. This is a bit around custom environments, which I touched on earlier on. So we will have a standardised home environment for each college group that will have Mid Kent, North Kent and EKC group. And then we'll also have our own individual teaching environments as well. Just a little bit about the home environments. And then customized teaching environments, so things like if you're doing a science experiment, for example, you could set that in a lab, so you could have that in a sort of that kind of environment as well to give that real experience for the user. To add more to that as well, you can then take the experience out into the actual sector-based environments as well. So, how does a crane work, and then put it within its environments as well, and actually start to produce a storyboard around those wider applications that are in use for it. And just a few more slides. So this just goes into a bit more depth around how we'll do this. So using gamification applications, interactive elements, and also collaborative features as well. Again, this is one of the branded home environments we're starting to look at. So just, people that are going into the virtual reality, they know where they are and where they're going. And then just finally about some sort of lesson formats as well. So this is students actually interacting with lesson formats in there as well. Simple assets being used. Enhanced assets are actually the turbine actually being used and turning around. But where we really want to be adding value is around these sort of advanced dynamic assets. So here you've got how the workings of how a wind turbine works. So this is where the user gets to see how everything works in terms of the motor, how we do health and safety from it. So there's a real commercial application here as well, and a lot of employers are interested in how they can do things around health and safety training, where, for example, if we're talking about wind turbines, they can't take people up to heights at the early stages. So how can they do some health and safety around there as well? So there's some real added value around the dynamic assets that we are developing. And then these just show some of the customized environments that we can then put those assets into as well. Again, building on that experience for the user. Thank you. And that's my presentation. If there are any questions.
Q&A window or into chat. Otherwise, we'll be going back to the room for a little bit more networking. But thanks so much, Jonathan. That was a really great presentation. And everybody enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you.